Hey everybody, welcome to another Return to Ravnica 8-4, and hey, we finally opened something that's worth a ticket or two. Also, just a sweet, sweet card, Sphinx's Revelation. You guys have probably seen this in Standard. It's made a huge splash and become a real staple there, and it's awesome and limited too. I've had some great games won off the back of that card. Additionally, there's really nothing in this pack anyway. I mean, we're taking this card, just doesn't matter, but I have to say that it is worth noting here that, there's not a whole lot else going on in this pack. Lobber Crew, there's some very mediocre stuff. There's really nothing for us to get back either. One of the things that I hear about in the comments and just from emails and stuff from the podcast a lot are people talking about signals in pack one. And, you do get a little bit of an edge here. Like, we're not shipping anything in our colors that's really notable. So, yeah, okay, that's cool, but it's actually not that important, what we're shipping to the left here. We're only going to be past one pack by them, the other pack's not, so that isn't really a huge factor, but it is a bonus, and it can be a tiebreaker sometimes, so. All right, so let's see what we have here. We've got an Is It Charm, I like that. There's an Azorius Arrestor, a Keening Apparition, an Inspiration, and an Asperia's Skywatch. So this is a promising pack. We have the opportunity to wheel the Arrestor, the Apparition, the Inspiration, the Vassal Soul, or the Asperia Skywatch, whatever makes it back to us here. And there's a pretty good chance that one of those will make it back. So the question is, which one do we want to take? Is It Charm is also a possibility, as we can splash for Sphinx's Revelation, and Is It Charm is a pretty sweet card, but I don't know that it's sweet enough to go into red here randomly when we have like pretty reasonable picks. I think I'm going to take the Vassal Soul or the Keening Apparition, and I'm going to wait till the very last second apparently to pick it, because I can't decide which one I want. And I'll take the Vassal Soul. Alright, now we have another Vassal Soul, a Knightly Valor, a Stealer Secrets, and a Rune Wing, so more reasonable stuff to catch on the wheel. I'm going to take the Knightly Valor here. I think it's the most powerful card in this pack, and I just think it's a really good card in general. I really do. Now we've got a Hussar Patrol, a Security Blockade, an Arrestor, and another Skywatch. Looks like we'll be able to get at least one of these Skywatches back, hopefully. I do like having one of those in my deck. There's also an Is It Guildgate, which would have been interesting, but alas. So for me, it's between Security Blockade and Hussar Patrol. Hussar Patrol serves a really good role. I mean, it blocks a lot of the creatures that you really care about, and it can even serve as a removal spell if the player you're playing against plays a little bit carelessly and doesn't realize that you might have it in your hand. That said, Security Blockade is pretty efficient as well. I think I am going to go for the Patrol here. I'm not 100% sold on that one, but that's what I'm going to do. All right, there's another Patrol and a Tristani's Judgment. There's also a Nivix Guildmage and an Avenging Arrow, but neither of those are really worth it to take it over these two. So it's a question of, do we want another Hussar Patrol or our first Tristani's Judgment? We're going to want a Tristani's Judgment. That is a card that we would like to have in the deck, although I really like Hussar Patrol. I like it more than most people do. And I think it's pretty good with a card like this as well. I am going to take the Judgment, though. I think it's a little conservative, perhaps, but I do feel like we need to make sure we get one of those. All right, now the pack has turned on us a little. We're going to take a Seller of Songbirds, which is really pretty unexciting, and we're passing a couple of cards that'll be pretty good versus us. But for now, we must stick to our guns. All right, some more interesting picks here. There's a Rogue's Passage, which I think is a little underrated right now. Definitely can do some pretty serious work, but we're probably going to have a pretty good amount of evasive threats, and that makes Rogue's Passage a lot worse. So that leaves us with Is It Staticaster, Rune Wing, Ethereal Armor, or a Selesnya Guildgate. The Guildgate's definitely an option. There's a lot of green cards that we could pick up, like a Guild Mage or something that we might want to splash. Staticaster is actually also a reasonable splash here, I think, and I don't think I want the Rune Wing or the Armor, so it's between these two. I think I'm just going to take the Staticaster here. It does seem to be slightly open, and it's something I want to keep my eye on. Now, this is an interesting question. A Guildgate or a Key Rune. And normally I would just take the Guildgate because it's easier. It frees up some of your mana and it doesn't take up a spell slot like the Key Rune does. But we do have a Sphinx's Revelation and a Tristani's Judgment, and we are also hoping to wheel the Asperia's Skywatch. So I am actually going to take the Key Rune this time. All right, we get nothing. This is the pack that we opened, and we'll take a Paralyzing Grasp, but we're probably not going to play it. And we got the Inspiration back. Not too bad. Looks like the Skywatches aren't coming back, though, but Inspiration's a pretty good one. And we did get a Stealer as well. Aku Steed is not going to make the cut. All right, so our curve's a little awkward as it starts at 3 currently. We're going to need to make sure that we get down into the... get a few 2s going here, but I think we're in a reasonable spot here. I really like this card a lot. Yeah, this seems like a reasonable start to the deck. I guess that counts. Yep, Sinks of the Chimes it is. I really like Soulsworn Spirit as well, and I really like Dramatic Rescue. Tower Drake's kind of eh. This pack's a lot better than our other pack one. Excuse me, than our other pick one. It's got a Splatter Thug in it and a Centaur's Herald as well. We're going to take the Sphinx of the Chimes. Cards we'd like to get back. I guess the Tower Drake's our best shot. We're not going to get the Spirit or the Dramatic Rescue back. Maybe another Avenging Arrow. We might run one of those, but we'll just take the big flyer here. It seems like a really nice pickup given that we've got, especially that we took the Key Rune here as well. Sad face. So Asperia Skywatch or Concordia Pegasus. We're also shipping an Augur Spree. We could just take the Izzet Guildgate here and keep our eye open for red cards. We do already have a Staticaster, which I don't know that we're going to main deck. We might. A lot of times you bring it in out of the board for when it's really good, because there are decks that it's just not very good against at all. Otherwise, I'm just taking this Concordia Pegasus, which is pretty unexciting, but it is a 2-drop, and it is pretty decent with the Knightly Valor. I think I am actually just going to take the Guildgate. This keeps us a little bit more open. All right, now that's what I'm talking about. We have Sky Knight. Unfortunately, we're passing the same 2-card combo that we did before, and we seem unlikely to get those back, but the Sky Knight's way better, so we're going to take that. All right, there's an Inaction Injunction and an Azorius Charm. They're actually very similar cards, but I'm going to take the Azorius Charm because it looks like we're going to be able to cast it very easily, and it can do some pretty nice things. It's a solid card. The worst case scenario, you just cycle it. You just use the draw card, and I find that I do that actually pretty often now. All right, we've got 2 2-drops here, and one of them's a lot better than the other one, so we're going to take it. We're going to take the New Prof Guildmage here. That's a great pickup for our deck. And another one, another Hussar Patrol. That's a welcome addition. I like that over the Doorkeeper here. I'm not in panic mode about getting 2-drops here. I just want to make sure that I get a few of them so we're not just doing stone nothing until turn 3. Yeah, another Knightly Valor would be nice. A couple more evasive guys, and I think we'll have a pretty nice little deck here. There's an Armory Guard and a Tower Drake. There's also a Street Sweeper, but we don't want that. I think we're just going to take the Tower Drake. You do want some critical mass on these 3-mana, 2-power flyers, and yeah, that's a good start. A couple of them. Plus a token. Alright, so there's another Key Rune, a Dispel or a Rune Wing. This is actually interesting because I think Dispel might be the pick here. I really want one for the deck. I also kind of want another Key Rune, which is weird, but I guess we probably wouldn't end up running both of them anyway. And I'd probably throw a Rune Wing in. I don't think he's awful. I don't think it's very good either, though. But I'm going to take the Dispel here. I feel like I can get a Rune Wing probably if I want one, and the 4-drop slot can fill up kind of quickly if you're not careful. So I think we're okay with this. Cards I'd really like to see are like Void Wielders. Man, if I could pick up a couple of those and another Knightly Valor, this thing would be just a house. Alright, so a Tower Drake or a Dramatic Rescue. I'm going to take the Dramatic Rescue for sure here. We want to be able to be alive. And I don't want a second Dispel as much as I want this. Alright, some guy just came to my window and he wanted me to let him in my building. I told him no. That was really weird. Anyway, that was also at the end of the pack, so it didn't seem to bother us too much here. But let's just see what we get in this third pack. All right, so Staticaster is still kind of iffy at this point. It's not like it doesn't have a big pull for us here. All right, this pack is pretty bad. Sphere of Safety, Azorius Arrestor. think I'm just going to take the Arrestor here. There's really not much else for us. There's another Guild Gate, but we don't really have anything to splash yet outside of that Static Caster, and we don't know that we'll get anything. So I think I'm just going to take the Arrestor here. It helps fill out our 2-drops. It also helps keep us alive a little bit, and you know, these things can be a big tempo hit when you're beating down in the air here. All right, there's the Steam Vents. That's a good card, and there's also a Knightly Valor here, though. I mean, I think I'm just going to take the Steam Vents because it's worth some amount of tickets, and it's a good card. He came back again. But I told him to go away again. Let's see if it works this time. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to take the Steam Vents. I mean, you know, if I'm sitting at day 2 of a GP, I'm just going to take the Knightly Valor here, but when we're drafting on Moto, we got to make sure that we take care of our tickets and such as well. And even though Steam Vents isn't a lot, I think that they're still worth picking up as many of these Shocklands as you can, and then just have a bunch of them for when they do eventually go up in price. A Hover Barrier, a Rune Wing, or a Tristani's Judgment. It's actually kind of an interesting pick. I feel like just taking another Tristani's Judgment, we've got not a lot of ways to interact with our opponent's creatures. We still never did pick up a Void Wielder or anything like that, and makes me kind of nervous. I think Hover Barrier is okay. Like, some decks really have a hard time with it, but a lot of decks don't. They make something that has 6 power, and then this thing just looks awful. So I think I will just take the Tristani's Judgment here and hope that that works. All right, so there's just straight nothing for us here. That's really bad. We are actually just going to hate draft a Rixmati Guild Mage. That is depressing, I have to say. And more of the same. Wow, just nothing. Looks like we're getting cut pretty hard here. Again, the thing that we're more worried about is from the right. And that's what's happening here. And this is a great pack. Lots of awesome stuff. An Annihilating Fire, a Hellhole Flailer, a Dead Reveler. I just don't want to waste a pick. I mean, I don't even know if it's a waste, but an Ethereal Armor is like very, very unexciting here. These cards just kill us. Yeah, this is really bad, actually. I'm going to take the Flailer here. All right, there's another Hussar Patrol, so we'll take that. Okay, so that's a little bit better, because I really like that card anyway. And now there's a Stealer and a Guild Gate and another Inspiration. So we could have 2 Inspirations and a Sphinx's Revelation. It's not that amazing. Let's hide this and hide this. We can always board that thing in if we feel like it's extra good. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot, and we're going to be fine on playables, I believe. Although we are cutting it a little bit close. Stealer of Secrets is pretty bad in our deck, I think. Maybe I will pick up an Ethereal Armor. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll just take another Stealer. Avenging Arrow seems okay here. Again, it's not a card I like to play, but eh. This and this are the cards that are the most problematic for us. I think I'm just going to take this guy out. And none of these really matter. Okay, so we didn't quite get where we wanted to be, but we're not too far off, and we've definitely got some powerful stuff. So I think this deck is going to do just fine. Again, you know, we were really looking for like a Void Wielder or 2 and another Ethereal Armor. That would have been really sweet. I mean, a boy can dream, right? We could have picked up an Arrest or something, but come on. Let's be realistic. This is 26 as it sits. We can kill 1 Dispel pretty easily. If we run both Stealer of Secrets, then I'm actually tempted to run that Ethereal Armor. I think that's okay. Let's see what we've got. I really like having all these flash spells as well. I like having an Inspiration with our Hussar Patrols. It's really nice. Maybe even just run the cancel. An armor, an arrestor, probably an arrow. Alright, so that's 26. We can also splash the Staticaster if we want. I think we're gonna wait though. I think that we've got enough playables and we don't really need to do that. I think we can take Avenging Arrow out. We can again board that one in if we really see the need. This deck looks like it's fine if we have a bunch of mana. We've got a lot of high drops. Could consider running 18. Like we could cut a Stealer here. I like shields up here with Hussar Patrols. And I like having answers quite a bit as well. Like what if we, actually I do want this to spell. What if we did it like this? That would leave us looking like that. Only 12 creatures, which is a little bit low. Like we could kill a cancel here for a Stealer. I feel like if we play the Stealer though, we're going to want Ethereal Armor in the deck just because we don't really have a lot of ways to get this Stealer through. I mean, we have a few ways we can like force it through for a turn, like with a Sky Knight, or you know, we can dramatic rescue a guy away. But like that's just not really. I don't think what this deck's game plan is. This deck is really looking to go later in the game with these Hussar Patrols, Knightly Valor, and then finish up with some of these bombs. Maybe even get them with this. I do feel like we should run. Maybe not. We do have a Key Rune here as well, so we probably will have plenty of mana. So I guess we could go up one more here, and if we did that, then we could do this. Hey, how did that know? Oh, right, because it's with the other ones. Tower Drake is unexciting, but whatever. We need something that can beat down. Suppose we could just do this. Yeah, this seems fine to me. All right. It's saying 8-9. We've got pretty early white and blue, though. It looks pretty evened out. Double blues at the end. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. So there's the deck. We've got some room to work here if we want. We've got an extra Dispel if we see a lot of that going on. We can bring in the Paralyzing Grasp if we think we can 2-for-1 somebody with it. That also affects our ethereal armor, so that could be good. Stealer of Secrets, we could bring in the other one if they don't have very many creatures, but it doesn't seem to happen that often. Of course, we have the Staticaster here as well. All right, so let's see what this deck can do.